What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 142 of Park to Prem here with Town Town. Today is the final episode, and don't panic when I say final episode. It's not the last episode in the series. I mean, there's some finals to be played today. Yes, if you've fallen off the series, you've not been keeping up to date, and you've clicked on this one, welcome back. Please stick around. This is going to be good, I promise you. Today we've got two huge matches. We have an FA Cup final, which, you know, under ordinary circumstances, it would be exciting. But then we've got something a little bit bigger. The Champions League final. We're going to be taking on Bayern Munich at the San Siro. A trip to Milan awaits. But before we talk about these two games and get into the first against Chelsea, perhaps just recapping how the season ended. Of course, last episode we lost 2-1 against Manchester City in the third game of the episode. We knew with that the title had gone, and well, against Brighton, we couldn't even beat them anyway. We dominated the game. They had one shot on target. It finished 1-0. I was a little livid, I'll be honest. Anyway, final game of the year against Bournemouth. We played a rotated team, Volta and McCassie with goals. We're not going to show them because it didn't really mean a great deal. We still finished third. I know, somehow in a two-horse race we've come third. It's an achievement in itself. It does, however, mean that the pattern of going fifth, fourth, third this year, we could slowly be counting up to a first place finish, although I would still be pretty unhappy if we come second next year after how this last year's just gone for us. You can see the rotated team that played that last game here. And, we are ready and rested, of course. This year's been very, very intense. We've played so many games, and to be honest, it's been quite nice just to have a week's break going into today's first game against Chelsea in the FA Cup. Of course, Chelsea, a formidable team. Their media prediction this year was first in the Premier League. They did not live up to that billing at all. They have finished fourth. Last year, they won the treble. They won the FA Cup. They won the Champions League. They won the Premier League. And, they are going to be one of two teams today trying to stop us from getting a treble. Albeit a slightly unconventional one, I suppose, with the EFL Cup, the FA Cup, and the Champions League. But they are very good. Their star player is Greg Watson, who is, a star player, but he's unavailable for today's game. So maybe the FM gods are shining down on us. They've still got a pretty good team, though, Chelsea. There's a reason why they were predicted to finish first this year. Of course, Frank Lampard, their manager, he is the only manager in the English Football League who has served as long as we have. He is beating us by a couple of weeks. Hopefully we can beat them here and get him sacked, and then I will be the last man standing. Maybe that's an alternative aim to go for today. But anyway, in terms of team news, today I think we are going to go for the counter-attacking system. We're going to play it smart. When it comes to the team as a whole, we're in a really good spot. We don't have any injuries to speak of. We are, ready and raring to go at full strength. I will say I am very concerned about the lack of goals from Shvetsov and Turnbull. They have pretty much gone missing in action over the end of this season. And in fact, before we even get into today's game, I'm going to tell them both that they've been blooming awful. But yes, the goals have dried up, and considering how we started the year, it was one of our big strengths. Shvetsov and Turnbull did finish first and second top goal scorers in the Premier League, but yeah, it's hard not to look at how they ended the season and wonder if they are a contributing factor behind just the disappointing way in which the league title was lost. We need better performances from both of them in the next two games. Of course, they played alongside each other for 7 years. They're like, I'm trying to think of a more iconic duo. They're like the Ant and Dec of Towler. It's not great, is it? I'm sure you guys can think of a better analogy. I can't think of many strikers in real world football who as a pair have played alongside each other for the 6 or 7 years consecutively. Almost 250 appearances they've shared. I mean, that's beautiful, isn't it, really? But enough of the what do you want to call it? The romance of it all, the bromance. Let's talk about this team, because it's not a two-man team anymore. Maybe once upon a time it was, but I feel like you look across the entire team right now and we do have quality. Do we have the same quality as Chelsea? Probably not. We are on a quarter or a third of their budget, however. In goal, it's going to be Morrigan, of course, 28 years old, the most senior player in our squad, signed for £1 million from Milan many, many years ago. And, what an incredible few years he has had. What a turnaround of a career. Disregarded by AC Milan, told he didn't have a future with them. At the age of 25, he made his way over to sunny Towlaw, and he has become a cult hero over the last 3 or 4 seasons, and he is, of course, club captain. Alongside him, we've got Soretta at right centre-back, even more of a bargain, signed for £170,000, has played 34 games this year, an ever-present part of our team, the 21-year-old. I think at this point, you could look at him and say he is one of the most experienced players in the team. Certainly not an inexperienced youngster at 21. Jackie Auger alongside him, a player who came in with a big price tag, a lot of pressure on his shoulders, but he has come up with some very important goals over the years for us. Hopefully today, Jackie, you're going to do it again for us. Out on the left, we've got Nico. Joined us this year for £67 million. Has he lived up to that price tag? Absolutely not. However, he did get injured, of course, with a torn calf muscle. He was out for 3 months with that injury. Even then, over the last couple of months, I've not been wowed by him. If you want to make yourself a hero, Nico, this is the kind of episode and the kind of match where turn up, get a goal, win a sit, and you'll go down in folklore either way. Mateus Aurelio, 20 assists for the season out at right back. Hasn't had an assist in his last 8 league games though, or rather 8 games in all competitions. He has underwhelmed a little as of late, which is high praise really, if anything. He's set the bar so impossibly high to maintain. Worth noting, and I only remember this recently, he's got a £92 million release clause in his contract. I've been trying to offer him a new contract. He doesn't want to talk to me, everyone. And to make things worse, there are actually teams interested in signing him, and I am very, very scared that one of them will pull £92 million out of their back pocket. It almost feels like we probably need to win a Champions League in order to convince him to stay. Maybe that is the real prize for winning the second game of today's episode. In midfield, we've got Leskinen, of course, one of the big standout players ever since he joined the club 3 years ago from Hamburg. At £22 million, the Finnish international is an exceptional deep line playmaker. Hasn't quite matched last year's performance this season, but regardless, a 7.48 average rating, I think we can all agree is pretty blooming good. In the midfield, we've got Matasevic, a product of our academy, Andre, who we rejected an £157 million bid for, and of course Andy Eric, who in the EFL Cup final against Arsenal earlier on this year, grabbed a hat-trick. More of that today, please, Andy. On the bench, we've got options. We've got Markovsky, Deacon, McCassie, Kaiser, Volta, who definitely is the kind of game-changing sub you want for these kind of games. And up top, Bubalo still searching for his first goal in Towlaw colours. And of course, Steve Norman, a player who joined with a big price tag, has had a few issues with injuries this year. However, he has looked very threatening when we have played him, and I want to give him opportunities. And at 20 years old, I feel like cup finals like this, coming on off the bench, they give you a chance to write your name into the history books and instantly become a legend. I'm bigging him up a little bit here. He's probably not going to come on and not score, so let's not worry about it too much. But maybe we can channel the power of his red headband going into today's game. This is the first match against Chelsea. 2 cup finals today. I am nervous about them, and I am struggling to hold it together. I am fumbling over my words. I am genuinely scared, which might seem a little bit mad, but I feel like the way in which we've kind of missed out on the league title this year, and I do feel like at the end of the day, we kind of let ourselves down. I want to win at least one of these 2 cup finals. And if you were going to give me the choice, you know what? This one, it probably wouldn't be the one that I would want to be winning. I'd want the Champions League against Bayern Munich. However, it's not going to be easy, and I want to fight for both. So we're dressed in our iconic green and red suit. We are playing at Wembley here, a stadium where we've already had one great performance this year. Can we have another? We are going to try and hit them on the break. We are going to try and play the counter-attacking system. Eat up as much pressure as we can and hit them on the counter. It's not a particularly pretty way to play, and while we are going to be called into some defensive action early here. And Moriba, I think the only real player left in the Chelsea side, scores his 20th of the season from centre mid. Yes, 20 for the season from centre mid. Owana whips it in. This Chelsea team, if you were wondering, they won a treble. They won the treble last year. They won the FA Cup, the Premier League, and the Champions League. They were predicted to win the whole league this year, and they finished 4th. So they are going to want to win something. And looking at Moriba here, you can see how he might have been able to get 20 this year. He is an absolutely nuts player. However, that does put a big dent in my plans, to be honest, of trying to eat up as much pressure as we can and hit on the counter. I mean, do I really want to try and weather a storm, or do I want to try and go more attacking and try and go for it? And I think the answer is I think we do need to go for it a little bit more. It's worth noting Chelsea's overall quality is absolutely insane. They've got players like Hendrik Bittner here. They've got Daniel out on the right, who's won the Ballon d'Or at 25 years old, an incredible player. And they've got Awona, who always seems to do stuff against us. He assisted the Mariba goal. And we've not been good enough. We've just not turned up. And I guess it's a case of, are we not turning up? Or is it a case of Chelsea just have way more quality than us? And you know what? I think it's probably a combination of both. We have a third of the budget of them. But one thing that we've done really well over the last couple of years is grind out results against these kind of teams. But so far in this game, it's not really working out for us. I want us to go a little bit more direct. I want us to play a little less pretty football here. I'm willing for us to go a little bit quicker up the field. We're going to try and hold on to the ball where we can and play positive. But we need a goal. And in order to get a goal, we need to get the ball forward. And we just didn't do that in the first half. We didn't create nearly enough chances. And unfortunately, we are in a position where we do need to chase the game. And while Andre wins a header, Frederic Shvetsov, who's on a booking, not scored in so long. Can he score there? No, he can't. It's such a great opportunity. The first clear-cut chance, maybe a sign of things to come in this second half. Shvetsov breaking through. The keeper tips it wide. We have got a corner here. Turnbull near post, can't direct it goalward. And, well, it's going to lead to absolutely nothing. I need a shouty shouter to man more. The players react well. But with an hour gone here, I think it's time for change. And Andy Eric hasn't showed up. We are going to bring in Volta. I am very close to really controversially subbing off Shvetsov. He has not scored in so long. Oh, is it hasty? Is it a mistake? He's on a booking. You know what? Stevie Norman, the 22-year-old Englishman, come on down. We need your pace on the attack. We need your pace on the break. And while we have a chance here, Rote to Norman. Tries to flick it on. It's cleared away only as far as Leskinen. Now wide with Nico. What can you do, Nico? Can he pull it across? Can he pull it? He's not. He doesn't need anyone. He doesn't need anyone. He's going to write himself into the history books because he has now scored a beautiful goal for us. Jarno Leskinen, the Finn, laid it wide to him. And I think everyone in the stadium, including me, thought, well, he's just going to cross it here. But no one closed him down. And he just jogged on his merry way. He danced through the team. And at £67 million... he might not have lived up to his price tag so far. Finishes like that and goals like that certainly will mean that he fulfills his price tag if he can chip up with a few more of those. Anyway, 15 minutes left. We've got Nico here in the wide areas to long throw it to Norman, who's underneath it and heads just over the crossbar. I'll tell you what, Norman's looked okay so far in this game. Leskinen now with a set piece. My word, all the chances in our favour and Jackie Auger heads it over. This second half, we have come out, since we've gone on the attack, since we've gone on the front foot, we've had them on the ropes. And this game could well go to extra time with 3 minutes left. Aurelio's had an awful game. I don't really want to use a sub on a right wing-back, though. Going to tell the players I'm far from pleased. Maticevic has not had a good game here. But then you have to look at Aurelio, who's on a booking as well. You know what, Aurelio? Get off the pitch. Kevin Deacon, come on down. Do you get an extra sub in the FA Cup in extra time? I don't think you do. No, you don't. Excellent. Okay, well, that's fine. I thought that was the case, but it was worth checking. So we've made our changes now. We have set up our shop the way we want it to be laid out. Now can we close out a sale? That is the question. And, well, nothing's happened in the first 15 minutes. Could this really go to penalties? Is that really where we are going here? I'm really tempted to go on attacking. You know what? I want to win this in extra time. I don't want it to go to penalties. They've got a set piece immediately. That's not good. That was not far over either. Chelsea heading it over Bittner. And, well, that highlight leads straight into another. Jarno Leskinen to Maticevic. Switches the play to Deacon. Fresh off the bench. Kevin, run. You've got the freshest legs on the pitch, son. He's forgotten about the ball. He wins it back. Volta's there. Volta. Oh, the two subs nearly linked up. It would have been offside anyway, so it wouldn't have counted. I was about to make a shout, but I can't. 4 minutes left. Deacon to Volta. The two subs. Volta whips it in. Headed away. Abel Ruiz gets it forward to Bittner. Chelsea looking to break away. Jarno Leskinen. Can you put in a tackle? He can't, but Deacon's there again. He's looking like an inspired sub at the moment, the right back. He's been everywhere. Now with Nico. 1 goal to his name already. Fred through Norman. Go on, Norman. Finish that, Norman. Finish that, Stevie Norman. Let's go. The move to go attacking is maybe about to pay off. We now go immediately onto the cautious system. We're not messing around here. And Nico, a goal to his name, now an assist to his name. But Steve Norman, the youngster, pressure on his shoulders. He has not lived up to his price tag this year. And it's the 2 big transfers of last summer that came in for a combined 144 million linking up. Time is trickling away here. We are going to win in extra time here. What a miracle result. We played awful in that first half. We made a few little adjustments. Nothing, revolutionary. But ultimately, albeit maybe slightly against the run of play when you look against the stats here, we come out with the win, and that is a big upset. Chelsea are very, very good. They are predicted, as I said, to win the league this year, and they didn't do it. They won a treble last year. We are now on for a treble, and we have a Champions League final to look forward to now against Bayern Munich, which is slightly scary when you think about it. You can see Nico, man of the match performance. You know what? I forgive you, Nico, for having a 6.76 average rating in the league. I'm willing to let that slide because you, my friend, have just saved us massively. Wow, that's a relief. A massive relief. You can see a Leskinen highest average rating, an 8.45 in all matches. And for the first time in our history, we win the FA Cup. We hold it aloft at the second time of asking. Our pre-season odds were apparently 6-1, so we were expected to do it. And that bodes pretty well. Anyway, you can see here, I have got a signing that I'm maybe looking to make for the future. Dom Put. He's a 15-year-old French lad. He looks pretty good, technically gifted. I am trying to make moves in the summer transfer window now because I have got a World Cup to be thinking ahead of. Obviously, Champions League final first. We'll take it one game at a time, but following on from that, we don't have a great deal of kind of downtime until we're back immediately, and you can see in our World Cup group we've got Iran and Honduras, which will be tomorrow. If you're not keeping up to date with the series, maybe you're tuning in for the first time with this episode, the next couple of episodes are going to be a World Cup adventure in South Korea. It should be pretty interesting, I hope, but that's tomorrow's problem. Let's get forward. We've got a week to get through. I am scared for this trip to Milan. Bayern Munich are very, very good. You could say scarily good. They're top of the league. Their star player is this guy, Horbrich Gestner. I've definitely not said that correct. He's actually injured. So maybe we're going to have both opposition teams have injuries going into this, because I believe Watson was injured for Chelsea. And in fact, looking at it here, I was about to say they might have a few injuries. They don't have a few injuries. Their team is very good. Look how many 4-star players they've got. We'll take a bigger look at it going into the game, but I'm going to go away, try and calm down, collect myself, and I will join you guys in a week's time for the Champions League final. I'm scared. Hello, everyone. Happy to take any questions that you have here ahead of the Champions League final. Delighted, obviously, to get to this stage with the club. I don't think many people had us down at this point. Really relishing the opportunity, although I was expecting a few more of you here. You might be wondering about the sunglasses. Well, you know what they say, when in Rome. I thought, you know what, we'll unwind, we'll relax a little.
You. This is Milano, not Rome, sir.
Oh, my... When in... I didn't mean when in Rome. Why did no one tell me the San Siro wasn't in Rome sooner? Yes, Milan. Milan is where we are. But no, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. Just please, nothing about the haircut. Thank you.
WorkTheSpace. Hey.
Yeah. Go on then.
You've come under criticism for refusing to wear a suit in the past finals. Can we expect to see you in a tie for the Champions League?
Well, I know it's something that comes up a lot, traditions here in European competition, wearing suits for finals, but we're not a traditional club, and I'm not a traditional man. Our fans are called the Misfits, and I will be embracing that. I will be wearing a suit in spirit. You can imagine me in my green trousers and red blazer, but no, unfortunately, I will be in relaxing wear because I feel like it's when I'm in my element. So, no, I'm sorry to disappoint people and any fans out there who were maybe dreaming of me, being smartened up, I suppose, for the occasion.
There's been a number of reports of injuries this week in training. Are the squad equipped to cope?
Yeah, it's a concern. It's a concern. Obviously, Jarno pulling up in training really wasn't ideal. Obviously, Roger McCassie as well out for the final. We're definitely thin on the ground in the centre mid position. Matasevic suspended. I'm really good for Roger McCasey. He was set to be the second ever South African footballer to appear in a Champions League final. Obviously, he's going to have to watch from the sideline. But in terms of the youngsters stepping up, there's players there who we can definitely rely on. I think Volta's proven his worth over the course of the run in this competition. Steve Norman obviously did it in that last final. So, yeah, hopeful that if, youngsters need to step up, they can do it. And obviously they have issues as well, Bayern Munich. So with that in mind, I feel like I'm as confident with our current squad as I was at the start of the week.
If you win today, are you concerned that players like Andre and Andy Eric will think they've achieved all they can here?
Yeah, it is a concern. Obviously, when you are successful, players want more money. Bigger clubs come in with that big money. Certainly, if we do win today, that will be a concern, that acceptance that maybe we do have to adopt a slightly different philosophy when it comes to the wage budget. But it's something that we will, come across, I suppose, when we need to, and cross that bridge when we get there. But for right now, we're focused all eyes on this final, really. Any other questions?
Fine.
Go on again, then.
Are you getting a haircut soon?
Now, what did I tell you? No questions about the haircut.
Just look at this.
Can't help it. We're in a lockdown, and I'm not cutting it myself. All right, it's done. It's done. I'm over. No more press conferences. I'm out of here. Well, 15 years, and it all comes down to this. Or, no, it doesn't really all come down to this, but at the same time, it feels like it's been leading to this moment. We are taking on Bayern Munich here, and it is the Champions League final. Our first of hopefully many Champions League finals to come here at Towlaw. And I was just thinking before I hit start recording, about the last time I played in a Champions League final. It was with Lyon in the Lyon Live series of FM20. And in that series, I only ever reached one Champions League final, and I won it. And then for the next 4 or 5 years, I just never managed to quite reach it again. And I sit here quite confident that we can get to this, competition again at some point. And I don't think it'll take us 5 years to get to this point, but it feels like this is just an incredible opportunity that we need to seize, because we might not get this opportunity again for a few years. Obviously, fantastic result against Chelsea just 1 week ago. There is some bad news, and you might have noticed it. We have had an awful week, as far as weeks can go where you don't play a football match. We have a lot of injuries. In fact, we can't even fill out a bench for this final, where you can have up to 12 subs. Unfortunately, Dylan Turnbull got injured in training this week. It's not a super serious injury by any means, just a tight groin. But it's the kind of thing that I probably can't afford to risk in this game. Obviously, Norman played well last time out, so he, can get the nod. He got the goal in the final against Chelsea. Hopefully, he is going to turn up and do it now in the Champions League final, the 20-year-old. Elsewhere, however, perhaps where the biggest problem is, midfield-wise, we've been absolutely ripped to shreds. Of course, Matasevic, we knew was going to be suspended after his booking against, well, he's not even his booking, he's sending off against Manchester City. Unfortunately for us, we've got two big misses. The first of these is Leskinen. He's out with a pulled groin. No chance of being fit, doesn't even make the bench, the 23-year-old. And the other player missing is McCasey. Now, McCasey would have been a candidate, to be honest, to come in and take the Matasevic spot. But that isn't an option for us anymore. So it does mean in terms of our midfield, Volta is going to get a start today. So a huge opportunity for him. He is a pretty solid Mazzala, to be fair. If only his tackling was just a tiny little bit better, he would be pretty near perfect. But he's certainly a good backup. And obviously in deep line playmaker, Leskinen's out, so it falls on Kevin Kaiser, the Dutch international, to come in and show us what he's made of. At 20 years old, he's not played a whole lot of starts this year. He's put in some good performances, to be fair. Only one start in the Champions League. But you can see a sea of green in terms of average ratings, and perhaps a chance for him to make a name for himself. It does mean, though, that if I want to change things up in the midfield, we are going to be lacking today. Our centre-mid options are Adrian Highland and, Son Jung-woo as well. And, I mean, neither of these are players that I particularly want to bring on. If we're forced into bringing them on, it could be a bit of a problem. I think is probably the most polite way of putting it. The good news is, besides the Norman, Volta and Kaiser changes, the rest of the team has managed to get through the last week without too many, injuries or issues. Of course, it's the same back four and goalkeeper that took on Chelsea. In the midfield, I'm looking for Andy Eric to have a much better game today. Up top, I still need Shvetsov to find the goals. And, Norman got a goal last time out, as I've already said. Bigging him up now. He gets an opportunity to start in this game with Dylan Turnbull's injury. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on today. Bayern Munich are a good team. They are a very, very good team. They currently sit, obviously, top of the Bundesliga. They've won that. They have some extremely good players. I will say now they are missing a few of their important players, similarly to us. So neither team coming into this game completely unscathed. Up top, their captain is Dimitris Katsabis. He is a German forward. You can see here a very, very solid player. Elsewhere in the team, let's have a look through that whole team. Why not? They've got Arndt in goal. He's 23 years old and he looks absolutely incredible. Super, super well-rounded goalkeeper. He's on 200 grand a week. That's a lot of money. Right back, they've got Kallert, who looks exceptional. Not particularly great going forward, but very solid defensively. Mihajlovic is not good in the air. Maybe we can capitalise on that a little bit. Alongside him, I'm clicking on Jackie Ogier. I want their left centre-back. It's Semet. He is a really well-rounded centre-back, to be fair. He's much better in the air. I anticipate him to be doing the job defending our set pieces. They've then got Lettieri, who is a left-back. I mean, their team is solid, isn't it? They've got their leading assister, Foodhurt. That's not how you say his name. We'll just call you Justus. And, well, you look at this and it feels like there's no justice in the world, really, does it? I mean, look how good he is. An incredible elite attacking midfielder. He's going to be playing a more defensive role for them alongside Nacho Martinez. I'll tell you what, they've got some very good attacking talent at this Bayern Munich side. They've got Corey as well, who is an advanced playmaker. Out on the left, they've got Loning, who is very, very rapid. Going to have to be wary of his pace. And then they've got Bazinga, who actually looks like he could be one of the weak links in their team. So, Champions League final. I'm nervous. I feel like I have every right to be nervous. It feels like, as I said, everything has led to this moment. We are going to play the more counter-attacky system today. And I think you know what's coming. It's the Champions League final. We are going on extended highlights. So, buckle up, get comfy, and let's just try and get through this game. Let's just try and get a result against all odds. I feel like we do go into this game, I don't want to say not necessarily not as favourites, but it's going to be tricky. I mean, Kaiser, make a name for yourself. Free kick straight into the wall, forced to Shrets off Andre. Volta hits it! Oh, the first real opportunity of the game. And it fell to a man who's been infamous in this Champions League run. Volta, unfortunately, his effort goes wide of the post, but good to see us on the attack at the very least. They've got the ball here. And you can see they're committing their kind of wide defenders quite high up the pitch, and I feel like they're leaving a 2-on-2 at the back, which we may be able to exploit. But yeah, this game is going to have a bit of a different tempo about it, I feel like, with the extended highlights going on. I feel like when it's on key, you always know a big chance is happening. I don't know what's going to happen here. Let's hope we can make something happen. Volta in the wide area. Norman, his effort was blocked there. That was listed as a half chance, which felt a little generous. It was an incredibly tight angle. The defender did very well to get a foot on it. Now Mateus Aurelio, long throw, launches it forward. Norman's under it. It's headed away. Andy Eric down to Andre. Volta, again, everything going through him right now. Mateus Aurelio, the right back, hits it. And the keeper holds on to it. It was a pretty tame effort in the end, but not a bad effort. Just noticed the fact that the Bayern Munich manager has done a team talk. He's got a bit shouty, and it makes me feel like we should be getting shouty. Kaiser lays it wide to Mateus Aurelio. Players queuing up in the middle. Can he get past his man? He can. He tries to pull it back. Defender did actually a really good job there to get it away. And, well, now Bayern Munich looking to hit us on the break. I don't know who that was who flew into that tackle, but it wasn't a good effort. Ball stuck up to the back post, and Benzinga there heads over the bar. A warning shot in our direction, though. You can see early on in this game, we've had 63% of the ball. We are dominating possession in the early kind of first half an hour of this final. We have been the better team, I feel like it would be fair to say, but we need to try and make these spells of dominance count for something. And right now, the score remains 0-0. And Bayern Munich, they have the ball. They are bringing it forward. It's Benzinga here. I think that was a attempted tackle by Volta. Ball whipped in. Ogier gets it away. Andy Eric now. Can he propel us on the counter-attack? He's maraudering on forward. Tries to lay it off to Norman. Not a good pass by Andy Eric's incredibly high standards. And now, well, they're going to come down our left-hand side. That is a lunging tackle again. We're putting in a few too many of those that aren't getting on the ball. And it's now hit by Benzinga on the right-hand side. A few of the crosses heading in his direction. Morrigan, though, up to the task. That's a nice little confidence-building save. And now Kaiser, decent free kick opportunity, hit the wall. Andre back to Kaiser, hits it. Keeper turns it around. And for a second, I thought it was going to go out for a corner, but it is still alive. We will now get a corner, but it's half opportunities. These half chances are definitely falling our way. Kaiser has got a lot of assists this year in kind of the Carabao Cup run. Occasionally when he's come in as a rotation option from corners, he's very good from a dead ball, as you might be able to tell by the fact he's on all the free kicks and corners, which is quite nice because obviously that's something that Leskinen does really well. So when Leskinen isn't in the team, Kaiser comes in, plays the exact same position and facilitates a very similar role. Anyway, half-time in this Champions League final, it is 0-0. Kaiser has a 96% pass completion ratio. We've had 55% of the ball. As the half went on, they did start to get more control. And I've just noticed at half-time, they have made a sub. They have brought in Armando. I think it was Armando. Out on the left-hand side, it looks. Bit of a shuffle of their attacking midfielders, it would seem. Are they going to make it pay immediately? No, they're right back there. Wandering offside. And for a second, I thought they were going to get that immediate straight after half-time highlight. It's not happened. And while we're launching a throw forward, trying to pick out Norman, he's not underneath it, but Andy Eric is. Battles through one tackle, whips it in. Shvetsov heads over that header. Never going in. Just timed awfully. You could see from the moment that he headed it. It was just going up and over, wasn't it? Corner here, though, Kaiser. Options in the middle. Shvetsov near post. I'm looking at you. It's headed off his head. Volta now with it. Have a go, Volta. Back to Soretta. Going to look to recycle possession here. This has been a nervy first hour of this game. I've probably got to look to, what subs we could possibly make here. 3 half chances, the only real opportunities of this game for either team. We've had 9 shots in total, but only tested their keeper on 2 occasions. Can we build something here? Volta to Norman. Might be offside. I don't want to celebrate it too soon. It wasn't offside. That is the best chance we've had all game. What an incredible pass through. Norman, unfortunately, on this occasion, couldn't live up to his FA Cup heroics. Have got a corner, but that is dealt with as well. An hour gone, and I'm pretty content with the system and how we're playing. Norman's looking nervous. I'm going to bring in Dylan Turnbull. I feel like that's a bit of a no-brainer. The issue is that with all the injuries we've got, you kind of look across our bench. There isn't a plan B besides bringing on Dylan Turnbull that I can make and go, yes, that is making us fundamentally better. I am wondering if I should swap Andy Eric and Andre around and try Andy Eric as a Mazzala and Andre down the middle. You know what? Let's go for a minor adjustment. You might wonder what's the logic with that. Well, Andy Eric's not having the best of games. Andre is having a bit of a better game. He's a little bit quicker, is Andre, and as legs start to tire, the centre mid in this cautious system playing centre mid on attack does have permission just to run forward with the ball a little bit more, and I think that might suit Andre. With some tired legs potentially in the Munich midfield, we can perhaps capitalise on that. And now here he is, whipping it wide to Walter, who whips it in. Turnbull on off the bench, and the Bayern Munich keeper holds on to it. It's another great opportunity. 20 minutes gone. It's not been a classic in terms of goals, but we are knocking on the door. Can they let us in? Turnbull, Andy Eric, underneath it. Auger! Oh, if Auger scored, it would be perfect. Unfortunately, he was offside, so even if he had got a meaningful strike on goal, it would have counted for nothing. And now they have a set piece, and for all our dominance, that is a warning. That is something that we need to be wary of. We can play as well as we want in this game, but right now, Bayern Munich, they're doing okay, and they are keeping with us. There is part of me that wants to go on the more attacking system. There is part of me that wants to roll the dice. I will call back, I suppose, to the game against Chelsea where we did it. I will call back to the Champions League game against Man City in the semi-final where it was 0-0 with 10 minutes left and we switched systems. Obviously, we conceded and then we scored. We need a goal here, and there's 2 minutes of added time, and time is just trickling and has gone. It is 0-0 after 90 minutes. Aurelio is tired. I am going to bring in Deacon. And potentially controversially here, I am going to take off Nico and I am going to bring in Marlon Ox at left back. I am going to swap out our wing backs here. I think we get a bonus sub, but there really isn't anyone. I can maybe bring on Bubalo for Shvetsov, but that just doesn't feel like a smart change. It just doesn't feel like a smart change. This is where the lack of squad depth, hurts us just a little bit. There isn't quite enough plan Bs what I would give to have Cancina back from Juventus right now for us. That would be the kind of game-changing player to have on the bench, or maybe even be starting. Anyway, we've got fresh legs in the wide area, and one of them is Deacon, who's bringing it forward. Rejected, as you may remember, by Manchester United. Told he wasn't good enough by them. We took him on loan and ultimately signed him for under £20 million. He has been a loyal servant, a loyal backup of a wing-back. Actually put in a pretty good performance in the last game. Let's see if he can do a similar job for us here. Shvetsov back to Soretta. Only 5 minutes left of the first half of this extra time, as Soretta is just going on a bit of a wander at centre-back. Kaiser now with it. Soretta getting back into position slowly but surely. Lovely build-up play here. Andy Eric through the middle. Blocked away, and wow, that was the chance. A long-range effort from Andy Eric blocked. You thought for a second the space was going to open up in front of him and he was going to be able to get that shot away, but he has been denied. Both these games have now gone to extra time in this final episode, and while Loaning is bringing the ball forward, this is dangerous. Morrigan, though, more than up to the test. He puts it wide of the post, and now we have to defend a corner. The ball going to be whipped in here to the back post. No one is there. That is completely overhit, and we will let that run out for a goal kick and be very grateful for it. Man, they've got a corner here. 1 minute left. If they score here, it would be pretty heartbreaking, wouldn't it? And, well, is that a foul? Is it offside? Is it going to be ruled out? They've scored from the corner. Offside is given. Adrian Martin's adjudged to be offside here. I mean, he stood in our own goal there. I guess he's deemed to be interfering with play. In fact, it looks like he may have even got the header on it. I think it was going in before he headed it. That's a let-off, isn't it? My word. Team instructions here. Less of the work in the ball into the box. Less of playing out from defence. I want us to go more direct here. I want us to be, I don't know, a little less conservative out from the back. Less sexy football. There are tired legs on both teams. Let's just get the ball forward quickly. If we can get it to Dylan Turnbull, who's fresh off the bench, or at least certainly hasn't played the last 2 hours of football, that would work in our favour. Anyway, 106 minutes gone. There is drama left in this game yet. Andre with it. Wide to Deacon. What can he do? On off the bench. Can he put the ball into the box? He can. Volta's there. And he hits it over. A few opportunities have fallen his way today, and he's just not been able to hit the target. And the goals which were drying up towards the end of the season continue to dry up for us as Morrigan holds on to it there. You would say, just looking at the match stats, we've been the better team here. With 9 minutes left, we are the team that you would perhaps put your money on to get the goal. Can Deacon inspire something from right back? Now with Andre, Shvetsov, go back to Deacon if you need to. Andre, have a go, Andre, it's blocked. Kaiser to Volta. Volta again hits it wide of the mark. He raises a hand in apology, and, well, apologise to me, you absolutely should, son. They try to play the ball out from the back. It falls to Andre. Turnbull, Dylan, hit it just wide. I mean, it would have been perfect, wouldn't it? The hometown hero, born in Durham, to score in a Champions League final. It would have been too perfect. I am going on attacking. There is 1 minute left. There is no minutes left. This Champions League final is going to penalties. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I don't really know what to say here. I don't really know what to say. We don't have particularly good penalty takers. It's worth noting that we don't have the penalty scores keeping track properly here, so we have got to keep count. We've got to keep our cool. Shvetsov, can you keep your cool? Of course he can. We go 1 goal up in this shootout. Now with Martinez for them. We apply the pressure. I prefer taking the first penalty in a shootout, but Martinez more than up to the challenge. He scores 1-1 after a penalty each. Andy Eric, EFL Cup final hero. Can he turn Champions League final hero? He can with a penalty like that. I love this. What is that celebration going on? They've all decided that they're planes. They're not showing signs of nerves here in the final. Verhert with it. He scores. It's 2-2. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Andre, we're in this final because of you, mate. Saved by the keeper. Oh no. So we need them to miss one of their next three. Lettieri steps up. Come on, Morrigan. Oh, he gets a hand to it, and for a second I thought he had saved it. Now on Turnbull. 3-2 to Bayern Munich in the shootout after 3 each. Can Turnbull score? He can. That is a really good penalty. The keeper went the right way, but he was never getting there. It was hit so well. Armando, who came on off the bench for Bayern Munich at half-time, can he now score for them? Morrigan saves it. He might have been slightly off the line. We're not going to complain, and it is now essentially sudden death. After 4 penalties, both teams have scored 3. It is sudden death from here on out, and Marlon scores. Morrigan, you made one huge save. Can you make one more to win us a Champions League, my friend? Please. 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 Jose Armando for Bayern Munich here at the San Siro in Milan. It's the 2034 Champions League final. He has to score to keep them in it, otherwise towel or win. And he hits it down the middle, and Morrigan scores. Or doesn't score, he saves too. I'm lost for words. Help me. Help me, we've done it. The treble. It's the worst treble ever. Well, not really, but does the EFL Cup count? Well, I'm calling it a treble. Oh, Morrigan, hold that trophy aloft, my friend. We were the better team over 90 minutes. We didn't score a load of goals. We didn't play the prettiest football. But drink it in. Drink it in, Towler faithful, who have made the trip, the pilgrimage here to Italy. Morrigan, just as a reminder, rejected from AC Milan. Club captain, playing at his former club stadium, saves 2 in the shootout. And the Bayern Munich faithful in this corner, they're not singing, they're not dancing. I most certainly am. What an incredible final. What an incredible episode. Not 2 particularly convincing performances, but we will absolutely take that to the bank and back. Towler Town lifting the Champions League. Morrigan saving the last 2 penalties. Volta gets man of the match. I mean, a perfect ending as far as he is concerned. You can see here Andre scoring, Andy Eric scoring, Schwetzel scoring. In typical Dylan Turnbull fashion, he missed. Of course he was going to miss. In fact, no, Andre missed, not Dylan. I'm sorry, Dylan. I have a vendetta against Dylan. Turnbull vows to end goal drought. Oh, my Lord. I'm lost for words. My head is gone. Wow. Wow. 142 episodes. Tens of hours of Football Manager. Potentially hundreds of hours of Football Manager. Recorded, uploaded and played by myself. And we've won a Champions League. And I'm going to be honest, in 15 years, that's pretty blooming good. But I'm still annoyed we didn't win the Premier League. Hopefully that can convince a few players to stay. I know a load of people have been asking me, Jack, you know, what's the aim if you win the Champions League and the Premier League? And the simple answer is that I don't want to fluke the Champions League here once. The reality is we're not the best team in Europe on paper. We're not the best team in Europe overall. You know, if we were to go into the competition next year, we couldn't ever expect to reach the semi-final again, realistically. That is the goal ahead of us now. For the next, 5 years, 10 years, I want to build a legacy here at Towler. I want to be making Champions League final after Champions League final. I want to have more hometown heroes. I want Andrei Shvetsov to be wearing the Towler shirt in 10 more Champions League finals in the next 10 years. That is the dream. That is the aim. And I just want to say a massive thank you. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please at this point now, just go drop a like on the video. Go drop a like on the video. I've immediately, because I get absolutely no rest, got to go and sort a World Cup squad out for tomorrow's episode. I mean, wow. I don't even want to think about this World Cup stuff now. We've just won the Champions League. We have just won the Champions League. We were the overachievers. I'm so proud of the team. What an incredible season. We had such a tough situation there. It was so tricky. Especially because we were without Leskin, and he is one of the key players in terms of how we play. really can't be understated. I mean, he is the player with the highest average rating. We just didn't have him for the final. 52 games we relied on him for, and in the 53rd game without him, we've repaid all that work he put in for us. The goals may have dried up towards the end of the season in the last couple of months, but we've got the wins. And I can't quite believe it. Wow. I don't really know how to end this now. I don't really know what to say. What an adventure. What an adventure. This won't be the only Champions League final. I'm very confident in saying that. I want to have many more. There's definitely so much room for improvement with this team. I think the scary thing is when you look at the age of the team, it's only going to get better. You know, the majority of our team are in their early 20s now. This is a team poised and really set up, you know, over the next 10 years to be that dominant force that I want us to become, that right now I don't feel like we can make a claim to be. But anyway, I'm going to wrap things up here. Thank you so much for your support on this series. Thank you for watching each and every episode. If you've made it through all 142, I can only salute you. In one way, this feels like, you know, the ending of a chapter. But I do feel like it's just the start of a whole new era here at Tower. We are now one of the big names in world football, and we have to battle to stay here. And that in itself is not going to be easy. Anyway, over the next couple of days, we are going to have some World Cup specials coming your way. I hope you are ready for them. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I can't appreciate the support and love you guys give this series and myself enough. I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for the adventure so far. And, well, here's to many, many more finals and episodes like this one. It is me, Jack. I'll talk to you soon. World Cup is on the horizon. And, wow, I'm going to go have a lie down, drink some beer, celebrate into the night, and hopefully not be too hungover for tomorrow's episode. I'm out.